Welcome to Breaking Ties, a new you after divorce. This is your go-to source for practical advice and support for when the divorce process has finished. Join us each weekday for a quick chat where we'll cover a variety of topics related to post-divorce. Together, we'll explore the emotional, financial, and legal aspects of life after divorce and help you find the best path forward for you and your family. Here's your host and Certified Divorce Financial Analyst professional, Mike Fulkerson.
Good day and welcome back to another episode of Breaking Ties, a new you after divorce. I'm your host, Mike Fulkerson, financial advisor and certified divorce financial analyst professional. Today, we're going to dive into a complex topic, and that is really the challenges of blending families after divorce. I mean, blending families can be incredibly rewarding, can be great, but it really does present unique challenges for everyone involved. So we're going to explore some common hurdles and how to navigate them effectively. All right, so let's start with, say, some emotional adjustments that'll take place. I mean, really, when we get out of a divorce, children may be grieving the loss of their previous family structure, while adults may struggle for adjusting with a new dynamic. So it's pretty important that we start working on these emotions and processing them. There can be feelings of excitement and joy intertwined with guilt, sadness, and resentment. That's pretty normal when we're getting through the processing portion of the divorce. And then managing expectations. We don't expect instant love or a seamless transition. So building a strong blended family takes time and a lot of patience. So when we look at the emotional side, we want to take everybody's feelings into consideration, and we want to work together to make sure that everything is going as well as it can. And sometimes, it's going to depend on how long ago the divorce took place for each party. Now, when it comes to, say, parenting styles within the blended family, you could have some disagreements, but when it gets down to it, communication is going to be key. I mean, blending families, really, we're merging two different styles of families sometimes. Even it's pretty, you may not have the same type of approach to raising kids as your new, say, partner does, or spouse if you're getting married. And so there's going to be some that respecting boundaries. You got to have the boundaries, but you got to understand why they're there and the role for the biological parent versus, say, the step parent, because they are going to be different and it is going to have to be sorted out. And that's where you're really just talking about things and discussing things with everyone is going to really help get the actual new family structure rolling. And then, the step siblings, if you are getting married, or even if you're just living together, you're going to have all the kids there at some point in time. So really, it's going to be an individual by individual basis. You're going to have to talk to each kid. You're going to have to get their understanding of where they're coming from. And you're going to have to work to bring the new family together, let's say, having shared interests, supporting at events, sporting events, dance events, music events, whatever they happen to be. Creating that shared experiences amongst them all will help encourage them to, work, be more comfortable, let's say, as a family unit. And then there's always going to be some co-parenting challenges with your ex-spouse, perhaps. I hope not, but they could come up. And so handling those is going to be very important so you can reduce, say, the tension. And maintaining communication with your ex really is going to be there until the children get much older. Now, if you're having a tough time or you just want to try to keep things as smooth as possible, you can seek professional guidance. I mean, there's therapy or family counseling to help navigate the challenges of building healthy communication within a blended family. Support groups are available out there for you to look up in your area. But I really think you got to have a lot of patience and understanding to put a blended family together. It's a journey. It's not going to happen overnight. And you got to be patient with yourself, with the kids, and say just the environment until things kind of pick up a life of their own and the family moves on. So blending families, it really does present a lot of unique challenges, but with open communication, respect, and a willingness to adapt, it's really possible for, the house to become a loving and supportive environment for every family member in the blended family. I want to thank you for joining me on this episode of Breaking Ties, a New You After Divorce. Should you have any questions, let me know or leave a comment. Divorce is not the end of your story. As you and I already know, it is the start of your next great chapter. And with that, have a great day. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Breaking Ties, a New You After Divorce. I'm your host, Mike Fulkerson, financial advisor and certified divorce financial analyst professional. Today, we're tackling a specific situation that can arise after divorce, and that is your child's going to turn 16, and the question of vehicle ownership and responsibility kind of comes to the forefront. So, this really can be a complex and exciting time filled with newfound independence for your young teenager and potential challenges for you as a parent. So let's take a look at this, in a little more depth. So we're going to start with, say, the state law level. So the legal framework for, really regarding vehicles and teenagers varies depending on your state. Driving permits, vehicle ownership, insurance requirements, all those pieces, the child has to go through before they can even drive a car. And so when you get into all those parts, you got to just figure out what is going to work best for getting the child driving. Some states have like an hours that they have to drive with a parent or a licensed driver, let's say. So you and your ex-spouse may split up the driving time to teach them and get them experience on the road themselves. So depending on how that works, there's also curfew limits and stuff regarding kids and driving, depending on their ages and things. But this is going to be state by state specific, so you're going to want to check that out. Now, we're going to need open communication, and that's, not just with the child, but also your ex-spouse, and you're going to discuss expectations. The kid is going to have to be responsible for the driving and taking care of the vehicle and stuff. But at the same time, when you talk to your ex-spouse, you're going to want to figure out, who's paying for the car, how's it being paid for, who's paying for the insurances on those, because let me tell you, kids and car insurance, that's, they can get expensive. It just kind of depends on the kid, the car, the vehicle, that kind of thing. And so you're going to want to have some conversations with your ex with regards to who's responsible for what. We're going to have also maintenance and repairs on the vehicle. So you're going to want to make sure that that's included as far as how are we going to split that, or how are those expenses going to be shared, or is one spouse taking care of it over another spouse because you're offsetting, say, another expense. So you do have flexibility in this regards as far as how you craft the actual agreement. So make sure that you feel like the agreement is fair for both of you. And then, as the child gets older and stuff, you're probably going to want to put maybe an end date on this, like how many years kind of thing. Is it through college, through high school? Is it just a flat out next 5 years kind of thing? And really just working through all the little nuances that come with children's and vehicles. Now, the nice thing is your child will be able to drive themselves back and forth to each parent's house, or perhaps extracurricular activities they'll be able to drive themselves. So it could free up some time for you, make things a little better and easier and smoother for the parents themselves. So there are some nice benefits to having your teen drive. The main thing downside is, as a parent, it's like, Yeah. What about, the stress it adds because they are now driving on the road, and, it may not be that your child is a poor driver, but you never know about the other person driving in the other vehicles. So navigating all this stuff, it can be as complex as you want. There are definitely a lot of discussions that will need to take place with your ex to set up a framework to allow you guys to work smoothly through this process. Is a car required? No, a car is not required. However, like I've said, there's a lot of benefits to actually having your teen driver use a vehicle to get around. One of the bigger ones is, one, it teaches responsibility, and two, it allows you to free up some time that you normally would have been with regards to taking them and shuttling them places. So I'd like to thank you for joining me on this episode of Breaking Ties, a new you after divorce. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out or leave a comment. Divorce is not the end of your story. As we know, it is the start of your next great chapter. Take care. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Breaking Ties, a new you after divorce. I'm your host, Mike Fulkerson, financial advisor and certified divorce financial analyst professional. And today we're going to focus on an important aspect of moving forward after your divorce, and that is reconnecting with family and friends. Divorce, it from time to time can disrupt social circles and family dynamics. But as you navigate this new chapter, rebuilding connections with loved ones can be a source of strength and support. I mean, there are really various ways divorce can affect relationships, and you're looking at things like strained friendships. I mean, some friendships might have become strained due to complexities of the situation. I mean, family dynamics, the dynamics within your family may shift, requiring adjustments and open communication. And then there might be new boundaries. You got to establish them yourself with your ex-partner and their friends and family. You got to set up your own boundaries as well. So there's a lot of pieces of divorce that can have a significant impact on relationships that you have. So we're really reconnect with loved ones can offer significant benefits. I mean, you get a support system. Family and friends can provide emotional support and encouragement during this challenging time. A sense of belonging, reconnecting can help you feel less isolated and strengthen your sense of belonging, especially as you make the transition after the divorce. And then it can get you some new perspectives. So sharing your experience with loved ones can offer different perspectives and insights, can help you process what's going on and maybe help you think a little more clearly and make some good decisions for yourself going forward. So I got 3 tips here for reconnecting. And the first one is really, you got to be patient. Rebuilding relationships does take time and effort. You can't expect things to go back to exactly how they were before. Life moves on, life makes changes. So it's going to also take time to get the relationship back on course. Open communication is another thing I recommend, and that is, you want to talk to your loved ones about your feelings and needs, and you got to be open and honest about your experiences. I mean, you got to, you share what's important with them, and you share what your plan is for going forward. We want to respect boundaries. Be mindful of your own boundaries and those of others. Not everyone will be comfortable discussing the divorce in detail, when it's all said and done. And not every relationship will be repaired. It's important to remember that not all relationships survive a divorce. And so some friendships might fade, and really that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. First you just want to focus on connections that you can maintain. And I'm going to bet in the future, you're going to make new connections, make new friends as you get out there. So divorce can, be that opportunity for many different things. Reconnecting with friends and family can be a rewarding experience. You can build new connections after you get divorced, in addition to reestablishing connections that you had during the process or even before that might not have been nurtured. So you're not alone, and your loved ones can be a source of strength and support as you move forward. I want to thank you for joining me on this episode of Breaking Ties, a new you after divorce. Should you have any questions, put them in the comment section or just reach out to me directly. Divorce is not the end of your story. As you and I know, it is the start of your next great chapter. Until then, take care. Hello, welcome back to another edition of Breaking Ties: A New You After Divorce. I'm your host, Mike Fulkerson, financial advisor and certified divorce financial analyst professional. Today, we're going to focus on what really is quite an important aspect of maintaining a strong bond with your children after the divorce, and that is spending quality time together. I mean, we know that divorce can disrupt routines and schedules, making it more important to be intentional about creating meaningful moments with your kids. Now, I like to start with just reminding everyone that it's not about the amount of time you spend with your kids, but the quality of that time. We want to focus on connection. I mean, really being fully present and engaged when you're with your kids. Put away distractions like phones and be truly in the moment. All they want is your attention most of the time. They want to be heard. And that takes us to the next one, which is listen actively. Give them your undivided attention. Listen to their thoughts and feelings and validate their emotions. Create shared experiences goes a long way. I mean, do you have activities that you both enjoy? Whether it's playing games, cooking together, going on adventures, the list goes on and on. You should not shortchange yourself on things that you can have a shared experience with. And then also, in addition to those new experiences, you want to establish maybe new traditions, things you thought of that you like and enjoy that perhaps you hadn't done before. And you were able to share these as a family unit, even if it's different than it would have been before. Now, the needs and preferences for quality time will vary depending on your kids' ages. Younger children focus on simple activities like playing, reading, and spending time outdoors. I mean, school-age kids, you want to try to align with their interests, whether it's sports or hobbies or creative pursuits. And then teenagers, yeah, we got to respect the need for independence, but still make time for meaningful conversations and shared experiences. Takes a little work, I will admit. Now, life can be pretty unpredictable, so we want to be flexible and open to adapting our plans. You got some spontaneous moments may jump in there, brace the unexpected opportunities for connection, even if it's just a quick chat or a shared meal. It doesn't have to be anything significant. Be present in everyday moments, make the most of everyday routines like car rides or bedtime stories, or, use that time to connect and share experiences. And open communication, like in other aspects of divorce, is really pretty important for understanding your children's needs and ensuring they feel heard and valued. Encourage them to share their feelings and concerns about the divorce and the changing family dynamic, and avoid negativity or putting down the other parent. I mean, this can be damaging to your children, and it's unnecessary, and it shouldn't be a tactic either. And then at times you'll need to respect your kids' boundaries. So not everything needs to be discussed, and it's okay for them to have separate relationships with both parents. We got to remember, we're really creating a new normal for the family. Focus on the positives. There's going to be some things that pop up that's kind of unique, and whether it's experiences, opportunities, so you can get a chance to celebrate. Patience, always got to be patience. I mean, anytime you disrupt the routines and the patterns, it's gonna take some time to put all that back together again. And then if you're struggling, don't hesitate to seek support from a therapist, family members, or trusted friends. Spending quality time with your children after divorce is really essential for maintaining a strong bond and supporting their well-being. You want to focus on that connection, adapting to their needs, and fostering open communication to create meaningful memories and build a new loving family dynamic. It can be done. It's done all the time. You just have to take the steps to do it. I want to thank you for joining me on this episode of Breaking Ties: A New You After Divorce. If you have any questions, reach out to me directly or leave it in the comment section. Divorce is not the end of your story. As we know, it is the start of your next great chapter. Until then, take care. Hi, and welcome back to another edition of Breaking Ties, a New You After Divorce. I'm your host, Mike Fulkerson, financial advisor and certified divorce financial analyst professional. And in today's show, we're going to really take a look at a question that often arises after the finalization of a divorce, and that is, when should you start dating again? For starters, there's no one-size-fits-all answer, as everyone's healing journey is unique. But let's explore some important factors to consider before diving back into the dating pool. First, focus on yourself. The most important thing is to prioritize your own well-being and emotional healing after divorce. And this involves, processing all those emotions, allowing yourself time to, grieve the end of your marriage and work through any unresolved feelings. You're going to do a little self-discovery at this time and find out what you like and don't like, or what you left behind in the marriage, or what you didn't actually keep doing during the marriage, but you actually do enjoy. And so you're going to want to also think about what you want in a future relationship, and then building self-confidence. Focus on getting your self-esteem and emotional resilience built back up. And I think discovering yourself is going to help you that go a long way in helping you do that. So we also want to kind of next avoid the rebound relationship, let's say. Rushing into a new relationship to fill a void can be tempting, but it's really not sustainable. Be honest with yourself. Are you seeking companionship or trying to escape your feelings? Focus on building genuine friendships and support systems before seeking romantic relationships. And you got to listen to your intuition. Ultimately, the best indicator of when you're ready to date again is just your own intuition and your thoughts. Do you feel emotionally stable and ready for new experiences? Are you comfortable being vulnerable and open to new connections? Have you addressed any unresolved issues from your past relationship? And then if you have kids, you're going to want to talk to them about it. You got to consider their feelings and well-being when introducing someone new. Now, you can be age appropriate, explain the situation honestly in a way that they can understand. Gradual introductions. Don't rush the process. Allow your children time to adjust to the new family dynamic. Probably first would be good. And then you got to respect their boundaries, listen to their concerns, and create a safe space for them to express their feelings. Now, once you feel ready, approach dating with an open mind and focus on getting to know someone genuinely. We're going to take things probably a little slowly. Don't want to, once again, rush into anything. And give yourself a chance to enjoy the process. Focus on having fun and building connections without any pressure. Set healthy boundaries. Be clear about your expectations and what you're looking for in a partner. And then learn from the past. Reflect really on your past relationship experiences and use them to guide your future choices. So we all know there's no set timeline to start dating after divorce. The key is to prioritize your own healing, listen to your intuition, and approach the process with an open mind and healthy expectation. Remember, you deserve love and happiness, and taking the time to focus on yourself will set you up for success for your future relationship. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Breaking Ties, a New You After Divorce. Any questions? Reach out or leave them in the comment section. Divorce is not the end of your story. As you and I know, it is the start of your next great chapter. Have yourself a fantastic day.